There's just been a lot of craziness since this executive order was signed on Friday. And here she is, Mayor Stephanie Miner. Good morning.
No, good morning. I think there would others who would tell you that I've made a lot of noise on a lot of different things.
You have.
The most recent.
You certainly have, but this one is the issue of the day. So talk about it. Are you prepared to defy, at this point, defy the president's wishes, his order?
Well, there's two separate things I think you're talking about. The executive order in terms of the ban on travel, which, as you can see from all of the discussions going on, there are a lot of people who think that he does not have the power to do what he has done and think it's a ban on a religion, which is, of course, against the Constitution. So what I am doing is making sure that people understand how this impacts their neighbors, people they live with, people who live in our community. This isn't just happening to strangers, and it's not happening to people that we don't know. And, I think a lot of people also saw that it's separating families, and 88-year-old grandmothers are getting arrested, and people who were promised that they could live in the United States who served our military. So this is really poorly thought out, poorly executed, and there have been a lot of victims.
How do you, you were one of the first to come out. I think you might have been the first to come out during the Obama administration saying that you would accept Syrian refugees.
I did, and talked about border children as well. Look, the city of Syracuse, like Utica, has a proud tradition of welcoming immigrants and building our economy with the strength, both physical in the days of the Erie Canal and the intellectual strength of immigrants. And we have a large population, a growing population of new Americans who are largely from war-torn countries and, has been said, broken universes. And we've welcomed them here, and they've just been terrific neighbors. They've grown small businesses. They've been all positive. And to have them fear that they're going to be put back into some political maelstrom because of where they were born or what religion they are, it goes against who we are as Americans.
A critic would say, these people are not vetted properly. There's a chance that someone could slip in. They could have evil intentions. How do you respond to that?
I can tell you that the vetting process in some cases takes 3 years. There is incredible vetting that goes on. These people are escaping places that have been politically torn apart by terrorists and extremists, and they're coming here to live in peace. And we have found that they are incredible neighbors, have an incredible work ethic. They want to raise their families in peace, and they embrace our American values of tolerance and of being active members of our community.
Interesting. The president now, of course, a fellow New Yorker. Had you had interaction with Donald Trump at all prior to this? And despite all of this, do you anticipate any sort of relationship with the president?
I have not had any. I've never met President Trump. And, of course, I would, if he has policies and programs that are good for the people of the city of Syracuse. I've spent a lot of time talking about infrastructure. That's something that is also near and dear to my heart. I know President Trump has talked about that, too. And I think that there are a lot of good things that could be done in this country if we focus on rebuilding infrastructure and not focus on discriminating against people because of their religion or where they were born.
One would think it's an odd question to ask. Would a mayor of an upstate New York City have any interaction with the President of the United States? But this guy is a little out of the box when it comes to this. And certainly you had someone from DeWitt sitting with the President yesterday, and the President referenced Syracuse yesterday.
Yeah, no, it is not actually that unusual. I've met President Obama and President Clinton. And, in his campaign travels, President Trump, while he was running, mentioned Syracuse a great deal, to the point where during some of the debates, somebody mentioned that we should have a drinking game for every time he mentioned Syracuse, you'd take a shot. But, that would not be responsible for me to do as mayor of the city of Syracuse. So
I'd only be one drink.
In Syracuse. But I would think that interest should be put towards good public policy.
Yeah. And speaking of policy, based on your beliefs, obviously you've stood strong on immigration for Syracuse and as a sanctuary city. This current ban that is going on right now has to be something that is really in contrast to your values, your beliefs.
It very much is. It very much is. And, I was just recently given one of the greatest honors of my life. I was named the Grand Marshal for the upcoming St. Patrick's Day Parade. I also like to say it's one of the few, probably only honor that I was ever given that I haven't campaigned for. But it has really made me think about how my family came here. And so one wing of them came here to build the Erie Canal, and the other wing came here to escape starvation. The fact that they weren't allowed to read in their native language and weren't allowed to worship in the way that they wanted. And there's a lot of similarities between how my family got here and the new Americans that I'm seeing in the city of Syracuse.
All right. Interesting, Mayor Stephanie Miner. Thanks for taking the time this morning. And by the way, prediction, is this going to be another last year? Syracuse is just really rough all season long. Mid-season, they turn things around, go to the Final Four. What do you think?
Hope always springs eternal.
It certainly does. All right, Stephanie Miner, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Okay, Mayor of Syracuse.